Welcome to Here's the Thing. My name is Vince Negro, and with us on today's program is Val Ratsch. I'm going to try Val Ratsch Maza. Have I pronounced it properly? Before we get into some of the things you're doing today, tell me who you were in high school. Tell us a little bit about who you were in high school.
Oh, wow, great question.
Yeah. And you went to Oakwood Collegiate.
I went to Oakwood Collegiate. Yeah, so actually in grade 9, I got Athlete of the Year. So who I was involved in many sports and also involved in the music program. And another thing I'm pretty famous for was that I met my husband in grade 9.
At Oakwood?
At Oakwood. He actually happened.
Al Quantz was the gym teacher there.
It was, no, it wasn't Al.
That was probably before you.
Yeah, it was Mr. Lackey back in the day. Yeah.
So you met your husband, who also is involved with you and does some of the same things that you do right now?
Yeah, he's also involved with me.
So you were in high school. What university did you go to?
Oh yeah, so I actually went to the University of Waterloo and started a kinesiology degree, but then I transferred over to Ryerson and started on my health and safety degree.
So you always were involved in the athletics, the kinesiology, the whole human type?
Yes, yeah.
Did you enjoy that when you were doing it at school?
Definitely. I always knew I wanted to do something with the movement of the body and also some sort of science background. Somehow I fell into health and safety, but I love it because it also does involve the safety of workers in the workplace.
So you go through high school, you go to university, you're working on that, and then how did you get involved? You're involved in a program right now, Speak Up for Safety. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing today.
Okay, so, well, I'm a health and safety inspector in the construction industry, and I've been doing it for almost 18 years. About 20 years ago when I started, or almost 20 years ago, there was 30 deaths in construction. It was the highest that the industry has ever seen. And so the Ministry of Labor introduced some training. So they thought we're going to involve all this training and workers were going to stop getting hurt, people will stop dying. But now, 20 years later, people are still dying. So something's not working in my eyes. I mean, workers are being trained, the standards have gone up, fines have gone up, and workers are still getting hurt. So this Speak Up for Safety is basically, giving a voice to workers. If a worker has a question, if a worker doesn't speak the language, it doesn't matter, speak up, you have a voice. So this is what Speak Up for Safety is all about.
So you're in high school, you go to university, you get all this kinesiology stuff, and you migrate into this kind of an area. Was it something that you had some experience in? Was it something your family or friends that were in the construction business?
No.
How did that evolve for you?
Yeah, so no, I had no one in my family was in construction, but what I did know is that I grew up with these strong family values of, really caring about other people, and I've always been really sensitive and empathetic to other people, so, just thinking of somebody going to work to get hurt is
right.
just, unbelievable to me.
So we both grew up in ethnic backgrounds, and a lot of our ethnic people, like whether you're Portuguese, Italian, Polish, all started in construction one way or another, and they were the people that built this city. Like this city was built on ethnic backs.
Right.
And you've got the big Liunas now that really concentrate on some of the ethnic workers. Did you sense that there was an injustice that was happening to a lot of these people? Because you hear a lot of these accidents, and sometimes in the past, and you'll tell us about a situation that you were talking about with us off camera. You find a lot of the stuff was just swept under the rug when stuff happened in the construction field on the accident side?
For sure. What I see in the industry is when people do get hurt, they often go to the hospital and say, oh, I was at my mom's house, helping her lift a plant, and I hurt my back. Meanwhile, the person was at work and might have fallen off a ladder. So I feel like it's like everyone feels that they can't really say that they got hurt at work. It's just a culture that we have in the industry. But aside from that, there are injustices where people don't have access to training. They don't speak the language. All the trainings are in English. So how are they supposed to understand? The other injustice, there's a lot of undocumented workers,
Right.
and there's no voice for them. So this is what the Speak Up for Safety is all about.
Well, in terms of the undocumented workers, there's a few people like Richard Borax, I don't know if you heard of that name, and Tony Letra, Joe Volpe. There's a big problem with these undocumented workers where they were taken advantage of. And your program, like if someone needed help or knows that there's issues on a construction site, would they reach out to you in a certain particular way?
100%.
Tell us a little bit how they would get to you.
Okay, so with my business, I think it's been word of mouth,
Word of mouth.
just been in the industry. I do take a lot of time when I'm on the job sites to talk to workers, and I just speak to them until I feel like I've reached them, like I've gotten to them.
You try to communicate. You try to bond with someone.
Yes.
With the people.
Yeah. So I actually speak Spanish, and with the Latino workers, I'm always speaking to them in Spanish and encouraging them to come to classes. Doesn't matter if they don't speak the language. And I do the same with Portuguese and Italian workers because our language is very similar. It's like a little bit of English, a little bit of Spanish, some body language, and I feel like I can get to them. If I do hold a training session and there's a worker, for example, that speaks Russian, I don't speak any Russian, I will make sure that they bring a translator and they understand.
How do you find being a female on a construction site? Do you feel that sometimes they'll look at you, what is this woman doing on a construction site, and how can she help me? Do you ever get that sense?
100%. So when I first started, I got a lot of pushback, a lot of resistance. Imagine almost 20 years ago, I was told so many things, you wouldn't even believe the things. Go back to the kitchen. What are you doing here? I would talk to workers, they would walk away from me, they would swear at me, they would throw nails at me, intimidate me like in their own way.
In their own way.
But I found that over the years I was able to get the respect of the workers. And then I see as other workers see that people know me and they say, okay, she's one of us, then she's okay. Just 2 weeks ago, I was sent to a job site and the site super didn't know who I was. So he was expecting to see my partner show up, who's a male. And my partner said, this super wants you to have a meeting and he wants you to do an inspection. I said, no problem. So when the super saw me, he said, where's your partner? I said, oh, well, he couldn't make it, but I'm here in his place. And then he said, okay, well, just do your thing and we'll do the meeting next time and we'll do the inspection next time. He kind of pushed me to the side. But I just did my thing, and then all the other workers recognized me. They started talking to me, shaking my hand, and then the site supervisor realized, okay, like she knows what she's doing. And then he approached me and said, you know what, let's do that meeting and let's do that inspection together.